Hey, it's Chris, Leisure Games. Let's talk today. A very interesting game, upcoming crowdfunding from Tabula Games. This is called Ryozen. And this game is in their world, set in the same world as Tabula Games' other games that you may be familiar with. This one, though, is a little bit different take. It's a little bit different spin on things. Because this one is... it's a worker placement. And you might be shocked right now, but Liege played a worker placement game? Oh, it really is the end of the world. No, sorry, just kidding. I couldn't stop myself with that one. But this is a different spin on things, and it's got a few unique aspects, and I'm going to do something different for you in this video. I'm going to give you full gameplay, and then my thoughts on it at the very end. So, let's just go right into the gameplay. I'll go through some of the rules and some of the areas and the things you need to know, because this game is going to appeal to a lot of people because it's not super heavy. It is more a slight step up from something like Champions of Midgard, Lords of Waterdeep, that heaviness, if that makes sense. With some of those additional elements already thrown in, so you don't feel like you, like with both those games, I will say, need the expansions to be included, which increases the price point right from the get-go. This has enough that you'll be happy with it just right there. Spoilers. Let's take a look. Chris here, obviously. We're going to be looking through a little bit of a sample gameplay of Ryozen, the latest from Tabula Games. So here is your basic setup for the game. Now this is for a 2-player game as a whole, and so you only see the green and the orange markers around the board, and this area, and on the scoreboard over here, I have my workers, known as your kin, set up along the side here. Normally these would be hidden from view from the other players, but in this case, I have them face up since I'm obviously playing two-handed. Now, the whole board itself also is a flippable board that has a whole second side with different worker placements, especially most notable about the worker spots that are around the inner ring here. You'll notice with 2 people, there are much more limited spots in each of these areas. And then we'll run through very quickly the 6 sectors, 7 actually, that you'll be playing in, and then we'll just go straight into it, and I'll explain a little bit more of the rules as we go. First off, you need to know in each of these sectors, there is a daytime power that if your worker is placed there, you activate. And then if you have the most influence in a sector after the daytime ends and the nighttime begins, then you're getting a bonus up here, or over here, over here, over here. That's reflective of this. Now, if you have influence in there in general, you'll obtain 1 reward. In this case, it's a 4 victory points. And in this case, if you have the most influence in the area, you're getting a secondary effect. And in this case, you're getting 1 of these moon shards. And there are 3 different types of moon shards that you're going to be trying to collect, because those are additional ways that you're scoring victory points at the end, which is all summarized up here in the corner of the board. And I'll give you a blown up version of that so you can see a little bit of what that looks like. But in the summary, essentially, 3 of a kind gets you 9 points. A set of 3 of different colors gets you 6 points. Each one individually left gets you 1 point. And then all of the other 3 resources that we'll talk about in a second, for each set of 3, no matter which they are, gets you 1 additional point as well. And then you also have these revelation cards over here, which will give you victory points. You can see the little victory point symbol that's right on there. Well, you probably can't, but it's on there for 2 of these cards right here. And then the third one is also, doesn't have a victory point, but it also costs less. So let's run through these sectors quick, and then let's just get right into it. First sector is the capital. This is advantageous. You'll notice there is a 1 slot and a 2 slot here, and this is for tie breaking essentially. And so you're going to be potentially having influence in all these areas, and this is going to be the tiebreaker, which you're going to be able to manipulate with going here in the first place and shifting places. Now, with 2 players, obviously, there's only a little bit of shift, but that's one example of what you're doing. Then you have the gates over here. Now, I'm not sure if this is a misprint, but my copy of the rule says with 2 players, you are taking the events and you're putting down 2 plus the number of players. But there's only 2 slots here, so that's why it looks a little awkward. If I'm wrong, I'll put it in the comment section below. but at least that's my copy of the rules. And so you reveal these events, and these events are deleterious to your gameplay, and they are a little bit of take that, but they affect everybody potentially, not just one person. And so they are going to be taking place between the daytime and the nighttime phases and between the resolutions of each of them. We'll read those in a second. Then we have, going around this way further, we have the clan house, where what you're doing is if you place a worker here, this symbol means you flip over the top one of your clan, and then you place it in the clan spot that is most open, going from left to right, and you can buy it for said price. And the nice thing here is whatever price you pay, you get that amount of victory points. So even though it may cost you more, you're getting more victory points at the same time. Then we have the springs. Springs are where you can buy revelation cards that I mentioned here in a minute, and they cost you a currency of scrolls, and they're basically bonuses. Bonuses that allow you to do certain actions better, allow you to do certain actions differently, or just endgame bonuses in terms of what they're going to help you with. And you are going to be able to buy them, and you can do that only in this one spot. Then you have sort of this shared area right here, the rim and the shrine. They're going to be interacting. You're going to be exploring these sites, going across, using whatever it's here to build this to get victory points, to build one of these tiles out. And when they're revealed, they're going to have certain icons on them. And then as you go across, you're going to get to the shrine, which is then going to have this symbol here that you can then utilize there. So you're going to be moving, exploring, and building here, or exploring twice, or you're going to be exploring and then taking the bonus of one of the previously explored tiles that you have already traversed. That's the game in a nutshell. Let's get into the actual nitty-gritty of a couple turns and a couple rounds so you can see what it looks like. Oh, sorry, one last thing before we go into that. Obviously, the 7th sector right here in the middle. This is the Phoenix Shrine. Now, I don't have the shrine in place, so you can see a little bit easier around it on both sides, but you can do two different things if you're placing one of your tokens into this area differently than if you were to place them in the daytime areas. Now, it also has a daytime and a nighttime effect. The daytime effect being you can go there and you can collect one resource of any kind of your type. Then you have to rotate it clockwise, so the highlighted portion is different. Why is that highlighted portion matter? Because the other option is you can pay a spark. A spark being one of these nice little blue tokens, and then you can take the daytime action of one of the areas that are lit up by the Phoenix Tower in the first place, and then again rotate it. So that's going to be changing as you go throughout. The nighttime one of this is completely different, and we'll talk about that when we get to the nighttime round. The last thing you need to know before we start playing is that you'll notice your kin here have two different sides. This is your basic apprentice. You start out with 5 apprentices and 1 fighter in the 2-player game. The fighter, we'll talk about why that's important in a second, but the apprentices have no abilities. All of these other stacked kin over here have abilities that you're going to be trying to utilize. What you do is when you buy one of these, they replace one of your previous workers. Now, it can be a worker that's already out on the board, or it can be a worker that's not placed. However, if it's a worker on the board, it does not automatically activate its ability, and so often it behooves you to take one that is already from your pile here if you can. Now, going back to that for a second, this ability side, this cloaked side. Cloak side actually costs you a money to play, but why is that important and why is it useful? Because if you're playing this in any slot, their ability doesn't go, but it's 2 influence instead of 1 influence when it comes down to, remember, the area majority influence that's going to dictate your nighttime phase benefit. So, with that said, the other tokens that you're going to be dealing with, the scrolls, like I mentioned, especially for the revelation cards, just money in general, and then the previously mentioned sparks. I'll read these cards out so you get a sense of what we're seeing in the first round and what I'm going to be going for, and then we'll get right into it. So here we have the event cards. Bitter Rivalry. All players lose 1 favor point for each of the kin in their clan house. So if you have kin that are in here that you have not bought, you're going to lose a victory point. Jade Eclipse. Each player discards 1 Jade Moonshard. Oh, and I completely forgot about this area. I talked about it, but I didn't even go into it. So let's go into that right now. Going here and paying a spark allows you to discard one of these cards. So that's actually really helpful. And so it can be very advantageous depending on if one's going to affect you more than your opponent. Last one is Locals Riot. Each player loses favor points equal to the number of villagers their explorer pawn has visited over here. And then we have the revelation cards here in the first round. 1 scroll. At the end of the nighttime, pay 1 spark to discard a revelation and gain a Jade Mood Shard. Okay? 2 scrolls. At the end of the daytime, you can ignore the effect of 1 event that we just read. Or, swift action, once per round, when placing an unveiled kin, perform its ability twice. These guys. And the fighters, when they clash, and this means in the same area, they cause a token to either go from cloaked to uncloaked, or uncloaked, not defeated, not lost, but it gets transposed into the Phoenix Palace. And Phoenix Palace also has influence, and the influence that you have there gets you victory points at the end of the round straight up. So for the ease of the economy, I've got it set up right over here behind the kin over on this side. And you start off with, in the 2-player game, 4 coins, 2 sparks, and 1 scroll. So with that being said, let's do this. So I have green in the position 1. Green is going to be the starting player right now. And so, normally you could have these cloaked because you may want to bluff and say, which one is this? If you attack this guy, is it going to trigger his ability or not? Or do I just not want to use this guy because it's going to be more helpful cloaked or not? So I really like the idea of revelation cards. So you know what? First guy, there's only 1 spot here. This is the last thing I didn't talk about on the board. You'll see that some of these spots have markers on them. So if I played this guy cloaked here, for example, it's going to cost me a coin. It's also going to cost me another coin to put him down here. So this will cost me 2 coins. But nobody else can put influence there because there's only 1 worker spot. So it doesn't really matter how many influence I have right there. As long as I have influence, I can get the nighttime reward, which is a spark and a moon shard. So I'm going to put it there. I'm going to pay a coin from my resource into the bank, and then I get to choose one of these that I'm going to buy. Now, we looked at them a second ago, and we can see, okay, there's the one, that's a pay it, discard it, though. I don't really like that. This gives me 2 victory points. At the end, I can ignore the events of one event. I can ignore the actions of one event, that is. And then, once per round, when placing an unveiled kin, perform its ability twice. Those are both very tempting. And you know what? Green, let's play with green. Let's go for those abilities. Let's go. I'm going to buy this for both of my scrolls here. 2 scrolls. I'm going to put it right over here next to my green guys. Once per round, I can play an unveiled and do its action twice. Now, that's not going to be very helpful right now, but hopefully it will be in a second. Now, we reveal another one, and this one is Journey of the Mind. Again, 2 scrolls, 1 victory point. Each time you place a kin in the shrine, you may instead activate the daytime effect of an adjacent sector. So the shrine, you could affect the daytime effect here or the daytime effect here. So those are very interesting. I know there's another one in there that I had previously that allowed me instead, when I played a guy here to take the daytime effect, I could instead take the reciprocal nighttime effect, which was very helpful for getting extra shards. So orange, seeing that, orange is going to do something different. Orange, let's say orange is going to explore and build. So orange is going to explore. We're going to have to pay a gold and a scroll from orange's supply, and then we're going to build here. Whoops, took 2. And so now, to utilize this one, you're going to get a victory point for every revelation card that you have on that site. And you'll also notice that this gets me 3 victory points for building it there in the first place. So orange is already on the board. 1, 2, 3. And now, again, there's only 1 spot there. Oh, I need to make sure I pay my spark, though, to go there. So that is paid from orange. Okay, turn number 2 for green. Now, I mean, if I'm going to go for that ability for that revelation card here, well, I should utilize this. Now, there's a free spot and a scroll spot. Well, I don't have any scrolls because I paid them both. So let's go here. I reveal the top one of green. And this is, let's see, this is the Philosopher. And when I play it, I can buy a revelation card. So I'm going to put it in that first slot. You know what? There's no reason not to do it at this point. So I'm going to pay a gold. Actually, you know what? It doesn't cost any gold. So I will just take him. And I will swap out one of my apprentices. The apprentice then is set aside and out for the rest of the game. And there we go. That's his turn. My turn. And now we go back to orange. Now orange already used their spark. They already used a scroll. And so they're a little bit resource depleted. I don't have any revelation cards, so it wouldn't do me any good there. But let's see. I could go here and get a scroll. I could go here and get a spark. Let's see. What were these again? Each player loses favor. Ooh, yeah, I might want to get rid of that one. So let's take my apprentice here for a second. Let's go here. Let's get one of those sparks back. So I'm taking my spark back. And let's look at the other two just to make sure. For each kin in my clan house, nobody's there yet. And nope, don't worry with the jade shard. So I'm going to get rid of this one because I have explored a village and I do not want to lose. So this just goes into the discard pile here. And that does not get replenished like the revelation cards. And now I have a presence here. Now, the interesting thing is I might have been better off putting him uncloaked there, or cloaked, to get the 2 influence, because there's another spot that green could go there in the future for. So again, it goes back to green's turn. Green doesn't have any scrolls, so I don't want to play my philosopher yet because I can't buy any of these cards. Let's take another apprentice. And let's go get a scroll. Let's go get a scroll. I'm actually gonna, I'm gonna put this guy actually face down because I do not want to lose there. And so I'm gonna pay a gold from my reserve. I'm gonna take a scroll, and if I was not first position here, I would be moving up to first position. Green's turn is done. And let's see. Okay, now it's back to orange. Orange, you know what? Orange has gold to spare, so let's, and a scroll, so let's go here. But let's pay a gold. Let's get that 2 influence there. Pay my gold. Put my influence guy out here. Flip him face up. You know what? I think I've started the game wrong. I think I'm supposed to start the game with 2 of these in spaces, actually, because I don't think it's supposed to be that easy. Yep, I'm wrong. I was supposed to have one of those guys out for each one of them. Let's just assume that these guys were the ones out and this one will freebie. And so this one, I mean, I would have one and then green would have been here. It would have been free. And oranges then would have gotten slid up. So this one still be free. And we'll populate it afterwards to reassemble that. Here is the trickster. And the trickster allows me to acquire a hero from here when he is revealed. So we'll put him there and we'll just pretend that that's the one that I'm going to buy. I'm going to replace one of my apprentices on my bench from orange. He's out. And now we'll repopulate this, and this is going to be what it's going to be. So now we have the clairvoyant, and we have the archer, which both do various things. Now it's back to green, and green has still their philosopher left. Still only have 1 scroll, so you know what? Maybe let's actually go here, put my presence there, and then move here, and then I can explore or take the bonus of one of the previous. Now I can either get a victory point with green, or I can get 2 gold. I need the 2 gold, so we'll do that for green's turn. I need the gold, so I did not want to put them in cloaked. Then it goes back to orange. Orange actually could use the scroll as well, but can't buy, so it doesn't do me any good right now to do that unless I want to try and get influence there, but I'd lose unless I just really, really need the scroll. Let's see. I have 2 gold. You know what? Oh, I can't do it. I was going to build a new village, but there's only 1 spot. Now I could go here and move and recruit. I can get 2 more gold that way. Or I could go here again. Or, you know what? Actually, let's do this. I don't want to spend the scroll. Oh, there's only spots left that are buying spots. Actually, let's see what green does first. Let's just put right in the Phoenix. That's going to get me 1 influence at the end. And now I just get a resource of any type. So now I'm going to get that scroll and not have to spend something in order to get it. So then it goes back to green. Green is going to play their fighter now because they're looking at this and going, I don't really like this. I don't really have influence in this area or this area. I don't have influence in this area. And if I play the fighter here, that's where they'd normally go. I need another scroll, though. The only place to get a scroll is here. I don't want to pay him money. Let's see. Or I could pay the philosopher. Nope. Let's go here. Let's actually cloak him. Pay a gold. And then we're also going to get a scroll for green. Because then, potentially, not in this round, but the philosopher that I bought earlier could get me 2 revelation cards if I don't spend them all this turn. Now it goes back to orange. I can play this and do the trickster, which allows me to acquire a card. That's going to cost me a gold, and I get a victory point, though. Yeah, let's do that. Let's play this guy. I have a spark, I have a gold, I could go there and rearrange the order. I could get 2 more gold there if I play them there and play one of my scrolls. I'm trying to save scrolls. You know what? Let's go into the Phoenix again, and let's get some victory points here. Let's put a cloaked guy there. Oh, actually, I can't do them cloaked if I'm going to do the acquire. So I'll do that. I won't pay the gold. And then I will get another scroll, because I'm building up all my scrolls here for the next round, for the revelations, hopefully. And then I can acquire the archer here. I can't flip it over, but I can acquire. So I'm going to pay a gold for that. And now I can either put it for the fighter that I have here, or I can put my archer out in place of an apprentice. And so, you know what? I'm going to get rid of an apprentice because they aren't doing me any good, even though I don't get the archer's bonus this turn, his attack. So we'll do that. And nothing else goes out there because I just acquired. So that's that. Now it's back to green's turn. Green has the ability to put one more out there. Again, I got 2 scroll. You know what? We're just going to go heavy Phoenix this turn. We're just going to go another scroll here. So now green has 3 scrolls, and now I can do this ability twice based on my previous revelation card. So in theory, I could do both of these cards. Discard a spark to get this revelation and that. At the daytime, you can ignore the effect of an event. Or the last one, we can do every time you place a kin on the shrine to get the daytime effect of an adjacent sector. So I already have access to this one. Now this isn't a bad one to. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna get that. The event. You know what? No, we're gonna worry about mitigating. We're gonna get the event accumulation. So we're gonna pay 2 of our scrolls over to the bank. We got 1 left and a little bit of money. And that's our last worker placement there. We're going to refill it with this one. Finding shortcuts. Wow, that's 3. Once per round, before turn placement, move an unveiled on an available spot in an adjacent sector at no cost and immediately activate the daytime. Wow, that's really good. That's why it costs 3. That's why I'm happy green is going heavy for that. Now, orange has 1 fighter left. They've got 3 scrolls. They don't have the ability to do that. You know what? Let's play a little bit of take that. Now, I'm not worried about this one. I could boot this guy off here or this guy off. No, I wouldn't boot him off there, and I'd still lose. You know what? Let's boot him here. Pay the scroll. Boot this guy to the Phoenix Tower. And then move or take the resource. Now, I don't have any revelation cards, so I'm just going to get 2 more gold there for orange. Now is the event phase. Since we have placed all of our workers, we're going to go around and tally this up. First, we look at the events. All players lose 1 favor for each of their kin in the clan house. So only green is going to lose a favor. They're already at 0, so doesn't affect them. Goes to the discard pile. The next one, each player discards a Jane Mood Shard. Nobody has any of those. Now we're going to go around. We'll do each one. So green has influence here. They are the only one with influence, so they're going to get 2 victory points. And then they're going to get a orange, I forget the name, but orange moon shard to their supply. We'll just go clockwise here. Again, orange is the only one here. They're going to get a scroll, and they're going to get a jade moon shard. So they've already got 2 of the 3 colors. Again, orange is the only one here. They're going to get any 1 resource and another jade shard. So we're going to, again, green is going for, or orange is going for, these are the last 2 are orange, duh. Orange, I'm putting them in the wrong pile. So orange has 2 jade shards and green has 1 orange shard. Back and forth there. But again, they're gonna get you know what, they're gonna get another scroll as well. So we're loading up on the scrolls for the next round because we really like some of those revelation cards. Again, green over here. Green is going to get a spark. And green is also going to get a crescent purple shard. So now they have 2. And they both have influence here. So both are going to get a gold. And then, again, orange has 2 influence, though. So orange is going to get their first purple shard. And last but not least, over here, we have just orange. And orange will be getting, 4 victory points. That's why you really go there. You might not want to do the events or worry about the events, but it's going to get you a heck of a lot of victory points. Brings them up to 7. And they're going to get another orange shard. So they have 1 shard of every kind now. Now, then at the end... Oh, sorry. Last place we have to do is the Phoenix. So orange has 2, 1, 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 for green. So 6 up to green. Then we're going to take all of our guys off. Reset them all back into their respective zones. Or teams, if you will. with the previously apprenticed guys gone. Oh, and you know what? I completely forgot. I should have been rotating this. And there were probably about, what, 5 guys in there? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it should be there. I'll try and remember to do that this round. Duh. But that's it. Now we're going to reset the board. We put out 3 new cards here, assuming I'm doing it right. A gate, Eclipse. Each player discards an agate. That's the purple one. A shard at the end of the round. Then we have Palace Intrigues. On the nighttime of this round, players who place their kin in the palace must subtract favor points instead of gaining them. Oof, that's a tough one. And undercover enemies. Each player loses one of their kin on every sector where they have placed 2 or more. But you're placing them back in the palace. So, round 2. Now, the only thing I didn't mention there is because green, I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly, green had more influence in the Phoenix Palace, they get the first player marker. So that's the other benefit of being heavier in the Phoenix Palace. So then green would go first, assuming I didn't completely screw that up in the 2 minutes difference between setting these rounds up. So green is looking at them. They have now 4 apprentices, the philosopher, and they have only 2 scrolls, so they can't buy that big 3 one yet. So where would they want to go? They can get a scroll here and get the victory points. They want to get rid of one of these. They really don't want that purple shard to be gone, but I guess it would affect both players. They really don't want to have that favor taken away from them, and they really don't want to have the... I mean, these are 3 bad cards, and we can't get rid of them all, essentially, unless we were one of our guys here. Which, you know what? Let's go there. Let's go apprentice right away. Let's put an apprentice here. Let's try and get a guy out. So let's go ahead and put our guy there, and let's flip it over, and we have the mentor. Oh, the mentor. So it has the exact same as this one. And if I buy a mentor, I can get a gold spent for a victory point, essentially. Or we have the clairvoyant, who I'm interpreting this as, and I may be wrong on this, but it's either discard an event card because it matches up the same icon there, or it's put down another one, I think. So, you know what? That's high risk, high reward, because especially if you want some take that, but it allows me to discard. So you know what? I'm going to get that. I'm not going to spend the gold. It's not that I have a shortage of gold. I just don't want it yet. So I'm going to replace one of my other apprentices. So now green has gotten rid of 2 of their apprentices as well. So actually, orange though, orange sees the opportunity to strike because they really want that 3 scroll. So they're going to put that down there. They're going to pay their gold. They're going to grab this 3er because this one is once per round before normal turn placement, move an unveiled kin, one of your guys, to an available spot in an adjacent sector at no cost and immediately activate the daytime ability. So I'm assuming, since this is costing me 3 scrolls, that it does not cost the ability here since it says at no cost. So that's very valuable. But now they have no scrolls, but they have presence there. Let's see what the new one fulfilled is. Prodigious Crafts. It's another 3. It gets you a victory point at the end. And each time you place a kin on the shrine, you can activate the nighttime effect instead of the daytime effect. That's okay. It's getting you a Jade Shard and a resource, though, I guess. Oh, that's not bad, though. So maybe green does a sideways and tries to get that, because they do have their philosopher, and they can double the effect of the first one that they play out. Or any one that they play out, but it doubles the effect of the one that they choose. So let's see. We only have 2 scrolls still, but let's go. Where else should we go here? I really don't like these, so I'm gonna do this, and I'm not gonna use my double ability because I'm gonna save that for the revelations. I am going to get rid of... Definitely gonna get rid of this Phoenix Palace one. Don't like that one at all. And then each player discards 1 agate. You know, I don't like either of those, so we'll get rid of that. And then I get a shard for, or a spark for going there. Now it's back to orange. Orange, you know what? Orange wants to be tiebreaker. So we're going to slide up, switch them around here. And then you're also going to get a scroll back. And make that free scroll slot all the harder for green to get. But green just got an extra spark. So green is going to take one of their apprentices and go here, spend the spark that they just acquired, and now move here. Build it for an additional spark and 2 gold, which they have plenty of spark for. Flip this over, and now they're going to get, what is that, 5 victory points? They're going to get 5 victory points, and they're going to potentially get 2 sparks if they want to explore that area in the future. So green getting 5 victory points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, puts them at 11, which you can't see are on the track here. We'll shift it a little bit here so you can see the scoreboard. There we go. So you can see green is now at 11 and orange is at 9. And then we've gone there. So it's green's turn. Now it's orange's. Orange really could use to acquire, but the trickster that they have only allows them to buy, not to reveal. So they don't have any in there that they can do. Don't have a lot of money. Don't have a lot of... let's see. Should I get more? I can't go there. I can activate the shrine. I could activate the shrine if I wanted to. You know what? I'm going to use my ability. As much as I don't want to do this, I need to worry about what is good for orange and not what's good for green. And I'm going to use that to slide there, immediately activate the daytime effect to get one of these flipped over. This is the merchant who gets 1 gold and 1 of any resource. Wow, that's really good. We're going to buy that for orange. Orange gets a victory point. Orange acquires this, replaces the last remaining apprentice that's on the sidelines, and now they've gotten rid of 3 of their apprentices. And I'm assuming that that does not take the turn because it just says once per round before your normal turn placement. So now it's still orange's turn to be able to do this. So, speaking of said merchant now, now this double ability would be really helpful if green got this one. But let's see. I could get rid of this 1 remaining event. I could go here and make sure that there's no loss there. But this is 4 victory points as well. So, you know what? I think I'm going to put this here and spend my last remaining spark for orange. And if I want to win this, but right now I'm winning. So I win the tiebreaker. But I'm going to get a gold. And you know what? That in case they don't take this, you know what? Actually, you know what? I need a spark. I need a spark. I just used my remaining spark, so I'm going to get the resource there. And then I can discard this last remaining card. So now there's no event cards there. We're both going to get 4 victory points as long as these cards stay there at the end of the round. Now it's going to go back to green's turn. Now they have their philosopher, but they still only have 2 scrolls. So that's going to be the challenge, is how do I get more scrolls? And the only way to get them right now is here or the Phoenix Palace. You know what? Let's put this guy in the Phoenix Palace. Let's put him there, spend a gold. I only have 1 more gold remaining. But let's get 1 more scroll, and we will shift this. I remembered to do it this time. And back to orange. Orange doesn't really like the fact that they're loading up on the Phoenix, though. And orange doesn't have any guys in here now that they can still buy, so the trickster's not really going to be helpful. Don't really like the 1 ability, although it does give me... You know what? Actually, we'll do some take that. We'll put the trickster down here, pay a gold to block green from going in there, buy Path of the Fruitful, and at the end of the nightmare, pay 1 spark to discard the revelation and get a jade, another purple. And now I have 2 of those, and so now I can get 2 victory points if I used that in the shrine. So that actually becomes a little bit more helpful. We'll replace it here with another 1 point, Art of Waiting. Once per round, you can cloak, a little bit of spelling error there, 1 of your kin by paying a coin. So you can cloak them for free. Or you can cloak them for 1 coin after they're already down, which is potentially helpful because then you use ability, and then you can still get the benefit of the influence later. Okay, so now 5th turn for green here. Let's see. I still haven't done the ability twice. Still only have 3. You know what, green? I want to be able to... Green has a specific strategy here, and we're going to go with this. We're going to put our fighter down, but the only place the fighter is going to be going is either the Phoenix Palace there or there. I'd have to spend my last gold to go there. I got to get my 4th scroll. That's not going to be worth it. I'd have to spend a gold. I don't really want to worry about the influence. 2 gold, 2 victory points, 2 sparks. You know what? Let's just go here. It's not going to do anything for the ability, but it is going to get me another scroll. And it's going to rotate this 1 step closer to maybe where I want to go. And we'll put both of these on the same side since they're on the same side. Now I have the archer and the fighter left over here. Yeah, actually, you know what? We're going to really, we don't want them getting as much. So we're going to play the fighter. That's going to uncloak this guy. And they're going to get another scroll as well. So now they have 2 scrolls, 2 gold, and a spark. To go against greens. And now green... Oh, but that rotates it. And now that's going to actually really help green, because now green has been set up very nicely because they can take this highlighted action. And so I can potentially go here. I can pay a spark to use the daytime action if I wanted to. Let's see if I want to do this. And then I could buy, so I could buy 3 cards. I don't really need to buy 3 cards, do I? I only have 4 skull. You know what? Let's try it. I'm going to pay the spark. I'm going to buy this one for 1. Once per round, I can cloak by paying a coin. That's 1 scroll. Let's put out another one. Let's see if we get lucky here. Another one, inspired painting. Before your normal turn, you may discard this revelation to gain 5 coins. You know what? I'm going to buy it. That's 2. And now I have 4 revelation cards, and now this actually looks pretty good. And let's see, 2. 1 with the mountain. When you place a kin on the palace, before activating its daytime effect, you can rotate the palace in any one direction. Or what are the other? This is a 3. I can't buy that anymore. Journey of the Mind. Every time you place it in the shrine, you can. You know what? Let's. These are both going to get me victory points at the end. You know what? I'm not worried about the palace. Let's put this here, and then we rotate it afterwards. And now he has 5. That, man, that is set up for utilizing this in the shrine next time. But you know what? Speaking of the shrine, we have one last one left here with the orange. And we're actually going to be very mean with this one. We're going to place it in the shrine. We're going to move orange into this area. And then we are going to take... Now, I could get 2 victory points because I have 2 revelation cards. Or I could get 2 gold. Or 2 sparks. You know what? Let's get the 2 gold. Let's set myself up for the 3rd round here. 2 gold. And then the archer's ability knocks someone else off on the opposite. So they get set there. So now they don't have any influence here. And green does. So that's all of our workers placed. And now we're going to go ahead and do the events. Well, there's no events because we successfully discarded them all. So there's going to be none of that. I forgot to replace this. Phoenix Favor. When you place a kin on the palace, you can activate both the daytime and the nighttime effects in any order. That's pretty powerful. Is that a 3? Yeah, that's definitely a 3. So potentially you could activate it multiple times. That's interesting. So we'll go around then and we will activate, do the powers here. So we have orange getting 2 victory points. 1, 2 puts them at 12. And they're going to get, as they're the only one there, also orange. So now they have 2 oranges and 2 greens and 1 purple. Green is the only one here. Green is going to get a scroll. Now they're going to load up on scrolls and they're going to also get a jade. So now they have their first set of 3 of a kind. Now again, orange is the only one over here. So orange is going to get 1 resource. Let's get another spark. They have plenty of everything now. And they're going to get another jade as well. So now they have 3 jade, actually. Orange over here is going to get another agate. So now they have 2 agate. So now they have 2 sets of 3 of a kind. And they're going to get another spark there. So they're pretty well set on sparks. And then we're going to go here. Another agate. Now orange is actually going to get the agate. So now they have 4 agates. Nope, 3 agates, 3 jades, and 2 oranges. So they almost have 3 sets of 3 of a kind already. And then both are going to get a gold. And last but not least, orange, because they successfully knocked green out of this area, they're going to get an additional orange shard, which now gives them 3 of a kind of each of those. Wow, they're really killing it here. And now we get 4 victory points because they're the only ones there. So that brings them up to 16. And now the Phoenix Palace, we have 4 influence for green. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1 influence for orange. Green, again, has the most influence here, so they're going to keep the first player token. They're going to collect all of their workers back into each area. And we will go ahead and play the 3rd and final round here. Green is really killing it with the revelation cards right now, but orange has so many more shards. So green really has to do some catching up here in the final round. We need to populate the events. Coral Eclipse, each player discards a coral. That's the orange one. Public Brawls, each player loses a favor point for each apprentice that's out. And then Court Banquet. Each player with no kin on the palace loses 3 favor. Well, that hasn't happened yet, so I'm not worried about that one. Neither team is worried about that one as much. So we are back to green's turn. Now, green has a couple apprentices, though. Green has 3 apprentices left, so they might be looking to get a few of their apprentices replaced this turn. Partially to get rid of some of those, negative points potentially, but also maybe to get some additional abilities. Although they're not super happy or eager with that one. So let's see. First up, green. What are we going to do? I mean, we're going to put an apprentice out unless we buy Well, now we have scrolls again. So I think we have to get the Phoenix Favor. I just think we have to. Because 3 scrolls, it's going to allow you to activate both the nighttime and the daytime effects in any order when you're putting a kin out there. And so I think we have to do that. I don't think there's any chance. Pay a gold, pay a shrine, or pay 3 scrolls, I mean, and put out a new one here. Refined calligraphy. Before your normal turn placement, you may discard this revelation to gain 4 scrolls. Okay. So now it's back to orange. Orange really is maximizing the shards, and so they really would not want to lose shards. Not worried about the kin, not worried about the apprentice as much. They only have 2 apprentice, so they can easily get that taken care of potentially. But they don't really like that one, so they're going to put one of their apprentices there, get an additional spark, and get that the heck out of there as their turn, because they're still winning over here in terms of the tiebreakers. Green is noticing that, and green is going to go ahead and put one of their guys here, but they're going to actually put him cloaked and spend one of their gold potentially. And so we're going to get another green here. We're going to get the Pathfinder. So this is the shrine mechanism, and we're going to spend their last gold to go ahead and get this guy and put them in place of an apprentice for future use. So now green is done, and we'll put orange back out there. Orange cannot put a guy here, so we're going to go over here. We're going to get an extra scroll, and we're going to get a gold from the merchant. And then we're going to... Actually, you know what? Actually, we're going to go here. We're going to go here instead, because I want to buy or build that area. So we are going to move, move, but it's the empty space, so I have to begin. And we're going to put the latest one out there, and that's going to cost 2 gold and that scroll that I just got. There we go. And now we're going to put a new tile out. We're going to get 5 victory points for orange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just what green really needs right now. And then you can draft and get resources, +1 resource for each one that you've bought, it sounds like. Each one that you've acquired. That's non-apprentice. So that would be for orange right now, that's 3, and for green, that's 3 as well. Now green is seeing this, and green is going, okay, there's a lot of gap here in terms of points, and I need to get ahead with this, and I am going to shrine this. But what we're going to do here, this is where the combo system is really going to be happy. Once per round, in Unveiled Kin, perform its ability twice. The Pathfinder, the Shrine, move and perform with the ability. So now I'm doubling this, doing this one, so I'm doing this 3 times. Now I have nothing that says that I cannot do the same action multiple times, because I mean I'm taking the action separately. So move it to, you know, to explore it essentially. Well, I can't really go much further right now, and then I take the bonus of one of the previous acquired ones. Now, whoops, not orange. Now I go ahead with green and I move and take the bonus. Well, I'm going to do this one, so 1 victory point for each revelation. So that's 6 points right there. That puts me up to 21. And then I'm going to move again and get another 6 points, which puts me up to 27. And I can't move, but I get another 6 points there, which brings me up to 33. Now already, that's massive. That's a massive point swing in 1 round. And hopefully I'm playing that right, but it doesn't say anything about not being able to utilize that in that direction. So I've used that one this turn. And I can't use this one. On the shrine, every time you place one there, you can instead activate the daytime effect of an adjacent. Well, I don't want to do that because I like the shrine for what it is right now. So that's green's turn. That was a massive, massive swing of a turn. Okay, now, how is orange going to get back with this? Because orange really needs some help. Orange does not like, has plenty of spark, going to put their archer there, make sure they get the 4 bonus there, pay the spark, get back the spark, knock this guy into the Phoenix Palace, and then discard this one because we don't want to be losing anything for the apprentices that are on the board for orange. That's orange's turn. This is going to be very interesting. Orange is killing it with the shards, but green just pulled way ahead with the other. So now, again, that spot's open for green to potentially take advantage of it if they want to. Now, green could. They have the card that allows them to take the nighttime effect, or the daytime effect of an adjacent sector. So they could go ahead and try and build this one, but it's 3 spark. Ooh, green actually has no resources at all whatsoever right now. So that is very dangerous for them with their 3 turns left. We will put out, you know what, we need some resources though. We're going, actually, you know what, let's just go straight up victory points here. Let's just go straight up victory points and hope that this is enough. We'll put the fighter out there. Actually, you know what, let's put out the philosopher, because I'm not going to be buying any revelation cards anymore this game, I don't think. And then we will activate the shrine. Can't move it because it's not built yet. And then we will have another 6 points there. So that moves 33 to 39 here in the corner. And that is green's turn. That is green's 4th turn. Now, orange's 4th turn. They have an apprentice still, but now we don't need to worry about the apprentice in terms of losing favor points. Again, and resources, every 3 resources at the end of the game is a victory point. And you want presence in as many areas as possible. And we know green is pressed for resources, so let's make it even more pressed. Let's put it down here for influence. Yeah, you know what? Let's spend a coin. It's worth it. It's worth the risk. I get a scroll back because I'm net 0 for resources, and then that's all that happens there. When orange's turn is done, green's turn. Green is feeling a little pressed, so we need victory points. So I have no resources, so that's going to get me a victory point in there. Actually, you know what? We'll save the fighter for 1 turn. We'll put the clairvoyant, and we'll discard this last guy. Although, actually, you know what? High risk, high reward. Let's pull it out. Let's use the put one down, because right now orange doesn't have any in the Phoenix Palace, so they could lose 3 points. Let's put another one down and see what happens. Every player loses a resource for each of their kin in the clan house. Well, that backfired. That backfired completely. So orange's turn. Orange is going to put one out, and they can put one out essentially anywhere they want. They have plenty of resources if they want. They're not going to put anything there now, because then they're going to lose resources. They have 2 victory points potentially over there, 2 gold, 2 spark. Let's see, what would you do? Yeah, you know what? Let's just put the trickster out. I'm not really worried about the ability, but I'm gonna spend a coin to make it 2 influence there to win that section, because I'm more worried about the shards right now with orange. That's where their strength is going to come in, and we're going to, you know what? Let's just get 2 victory points. I've got 2 revelation cards, 1, 2. That's helpful. It's not minuscule. Now the fighter is the last one left for green on their last turn, and they do not have any resources whatsoever, and there are no spots that are open, so they're just going to have to. And I completely forgot to do that again. This would be, you know, considerably moved right here, but I don't have any resources, so I would be 2 resources up, or 3 resources up right now. So I would have 3 resources. I screwed that up completely. I apologize for that. But there you go. I couldn't activate it anyway. I don't have any sparks, so it doesn't make that big of an influence. The fighter is the last one here. I guess I could have cloaked. You know what? I will say that I'll retcon this here on this turn. I'll spend one of those resources that I would have gotten maybe for the philosopher, and I'll have this guy cloaked. So that's an extra victory point there, so don't completely screw this up for green. And then orange now only has the fighter left. And they have presence in almost all the areas. Oh, except for here, and that's going to get them another purple. And they're actually the tie-breaking winning right now. So that's worth spending a scroll for that they have, because they are resource rich and going there. And although that's going to now, you know what? Actually, you know what? Who cares? Because they'll just buy it. It's the entertainer, which allows for the highlighted portion to be manipulated in the Phoenix area. And they will spend a gold and replace one of the apprentices here. This apprentice is discarded. Activated ability is not utilized, but it's at least not sitting in the center or sitting out there for the other one that was previously there. Although, oh, that's going to hurt though. You know what? Hopefully it pays off, because now this one's events are going to cause it. Anyway, so first event. Every player loses a resource of their choice for each kin. That's not actually that bad. I thought it was a favor. Let's lose a resource. Doesn't really matter, because, you know, the end of the game. So it's every 3, so that doesn't count. Each player with no kin in the palace loses 3 favor points. So orange has known 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to go around again. This is where orange is going to kill it, though. Orange is going to get 2 victory points right there, and they're going to get another orange shard. Agate. So orange gets their 4th orange shard. They're massively destroying green on that aspect. Again, orange is the only one here, so they're going to get a scroll. And these resources matter. These resources really do matter, and they're going to get another jade. And then orange, again, is going to kill it here. Each team is going to get a resource, so that'll give green a little bit of a resource benefit. But again, another jade goes to orange. Then again, green is actually getting back on the board here with a spark. So they're getting some resources, so they might get a few points. And then they're going to get one of the purple moon ones. So they're going to hopefully get a few points off of the shards, if nothing else. And again, orange wins the tiebreaker here. They're both going to get a gold. But orange is also going to collect the purple one, which is, again, this is going to be, this is the final scoring is going to be very interesting on this. And then orange, again, here for this aspect, is going to be getting 4 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that kind of negates the Phoenix. And then they're going to be getting another orange shard. Now we go into the center. Again, so 4 for green. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we do the final scoring. So we'll do green first. And you know what? Green, I completely forgot about this, that I could activate the daytime and nighttime effect in any order. And so nighttime effect, when I placed it, 1 would have been 1 victory point, 2 more victory points there. I am going to retcon this because this matters. And then I would have gotten 4 victory points there as well. So that would have been a total of 7 victory points there in addition. So I'm going to give green that 7 victory points, which brings them up to 50. I'm not going to retcon anything else. I could have probably cloaked these 2 guys by paying coins at the very end to get them an extra influence. But you know what? That's enough retconning for this playthrough in the first place. So green then has 1 set of all 3. So that's 9 points. And then they have 1 additional. So that's 10. And then they have 1 set of 3 for this. That's 11. So we'll slide the board back a little bit this way. 11 points from 50 brings it up to 61 right in the corner there. And then that is pretty much it for green, I believe. Oh, sorry. No, they're revelation cards. Each of the revelation cards has a little icon, or some of them do right there, which is victory points. But that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they have 10 more, which brings them to 71. 71 points for green. And they had 2 extra resources, but if you don't have enough for 3, you don't get a point. So we will now go to orange. Orange's revelation cards only get them 1 point. But they have, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total, 9 total resources. So that's going to get them 3 points as well. 1, 2, 3. And now here comes the massively tricky part. So I have 4 greens right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 purples. 1, 2, 3, 4 oranges. So that is 4 sets of 3, and each of those is worth 9 points. So 9 times 4 is 36. 36 plus 31 is 67. Then they have 2 extra shards left over, 68, 69. That's it. So that's potentially how close it was. If I wouldn't have screwed up some of the retconning with green and allowed that, that's the difference in that game right there. That's the difference in just getting this little thing with orange as well. So there you go. That is a complete game with not hopefully too many screw ups, but hopefully a little bit of interesting into giving you a little bit of insight into what Ryozen is going to look like. Let's go to my final thoughts.